And we should be live right now.
All right, welcome everybody to another edition of Friday Night Fights. This is Twastell here. I'm going to be the main battler tonight. And then we have Brandon BGold joining us, as well as Alfindeol. And then we have Polymers and Scotty here for the beginning of the stream. And I think, as most of you have heard, our save PvP movement was successful, and Niantic reverted the switch mechanics. So we're back to the old switch mechanics that we all know and mostly love. Anything else you guys want to add in here before we get going?
No, I'm interested to see how some of these teams look with the meta change. It'll be fun.
Yeah, that's another good point is, at the same time that those new switch mechanics were added, they added some new moves, the most significant of which was Charm, which makes Wigglytuff now one of the meta central mons and kind of shifts the rest of the meta. I am not going to be using Wigglytuff tonight, mostly because I'm still looking for a Wigglytuff that has a higher attack, because there's some meta-relevant breakpoints against, I believe, Lantern, Magneton, and Vigoroth, where a high attack Wigglytuff is desirable. So I'm saving my dust until I find one with more attack. And also I'm just doing it as kind of an experiment to see how a team without Wigglytuff holds up against the rest of the meta. So to start, I believe I'm going to be battling the founder of our Discord, Scotty.
This definitely isn't going to go well.
Sorry, I just realized I think we're in the wrong call. Unless we want to stay here.
Yeah, we're good here.
Okay.
And yeah, so as you guys will see in my team, I've got 2 steals as well as 2 poison types to help really lock down that Wigglytuff matchup.
So, what are some changes that you made to your lineup, Tristan? Have you made a lot of changes since the Charm release?
Yeah,
is it similar to what you? Yeah.
I had to make quite a few changes because my old team I was running Vespiquen, Alolan Raichu, and whatchamacallit, and Alolan Graveler, all of which lose to Wigglytuff. So I've, for the time being at least, I've dropped all 3 of those, favoring Magneton as my electric, because it's steel type, so it resists Charm. And then I've dropped Vespiquen in favor of running, for the time being, Beedrill. But I have some trades lined up for a Poison Fang Venomoth, as well as potentially a lucky trade for a Dustox.
Oh,
so
nice.
One of those will probably be slotting in place of that Beedrill. I like the fact that they win that head-to-head with Beedrill.
Right.
But for tonight, I'm testing out Beedrill to see how I like it.
Yeah. And then what was the third one you dropped?
I dropped...
Oh, was this a second electric? Was that what it was?
Oh, yeah, I was running double electric before.
Right.
And so I dropped before I was on the fence between running either Noctowl or Fortress, but for the time being, I'm running both
Right.
because Fortress has a pretty solid Wigglytuff matchup.
Nice. Yeah, they both have some overlapping coverages, like able to beat other bugs and then wall grass. Um, but that Wigglytuff, I guess, is why you kind of want to run Fort maybe with Noct, and then Noct beats
Yeah.
Fort head to head. So
Yeah, so I like Fort because it has most of that same coverage, like good grass and bug coverage for the most part.
mm-hmm.
And it has a better electric matchup than Noctowl because most of the electrics kind of wall Noctowl.
Yeah, exactly.
But the main factor going in Noctowl's favor is it wins that head to head. So if you're going Fort and don't have a Noctowl, then as a result, your Fortress and Noctowl matchups are a little bit weaker.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because I know double electrics was a popular strategy prior to the release of Charm. I myself was running it in a lot of scrims, and it doesn't seem quite as viable. If it is viable at all, it's going to take a really well curated lineup to sort of balance all those matchup issues.
Right. Yeah, I think the biggest problem with double electric is basically all the electrics besides like Magneton and Magnezone, and kind of Lantern. Besides those three, all the other electrics lose to Wigglytuff.
Right.
Case isn't really the answer, that double electric is less flexible. Like one of the electrics just has to be a mag family mon now, where before you had a whole lot of different options to go that route.
Right. Yeah, because before I was running Alolan Raichu as my one of my two electrics because I liked that it had a pretty solid Vigoroth matchup. But now it just has such a bad Wigglytuff matchup that it's hard to justify bringing it. Combined with the fact that Fortress is becoming more popular, which makes it harder to run Alolan Raichu.
Shame because Alolan Raichu is one of the few relevant mons that also got a move added, right?
Yeah, it got Grass Knot.
Right.
Which is interesting because it gives it better matchups against like the Alolan Rocks, as well as Lantern. But then I believe you sacrifice some other matchups. I'm not totally sure because I haven't fully looked into that yet. But I just remember Got saying that running Wild Charge, you got more wins than if you ran Grass Knot. Whoops, did not mean to switch there. I mean, that's a place where that new switch system would have been nice because I would have just put my Fortress back in. So, I mean, I prefer the system now, but there definitely were some pros to the one they implemented.
Do you think it's possible we're going to see the paused switching return, but with cleaned up mechanics at some point?
I'm not sure about the pause switching just because of kind of the message they sent out when they reverted, talking about how they were trying to foster those like faster pace strategies. So I think they'll try to keep the fast switching, but try to fix the fact that right now you take damage as your switch or when you're switching in, because that's why they implemented the pause, was to try to eliminate that. So I think that's something they'll be trying to implement as they keep the fast-paced switching.
And I think that's a change the verdict I've heard is that people would like to get behind that. It is it's more of a factor of the way that the animations are currently set up, that when you make a switch, you have, probably a second before you have a chance to see what's attacking you. It's led to people doing things like playing with the sound on and memorizing quick moves and such like that. That's probably not necessarily great for the game. Around, but it's not an ideal one. So, I think board with the idea of cleaning that interaction up so that you have more time to make the proper decision.
Right. Yeah, I think there's ways that they can keep the fast switch and not have like a full pause while still making it so that you can see what's being switched in faster, and also not have you be taking damage as you're switching in. And then just quick side note, I'm going to be scrimmaging polymers now. And he and I, it looks like, have nearly identical teams. But he's running Victory Bell and Magnazone in place of my Venusaur and Magneton. Man, that Victory Bell's rough matchup though, because that Razor Leaf just shreds.
Is that I mean, merits wise, obviously there's pros and cons to both Venusaur and why opt for Venusaur on your team, Tristan?
I just like the fact that Venusaur beats Victory Bell. That's a big one. I really favor being able to win those head-to-heads, so that's why I'm leaning towards, Venomoth over Beedrill and Venusaur over Victory Bell. Because if they have a similar job, I just like having that utility of being able to win that head-to-head, because it means that I have more overall matchups. And the other thing I like about Victory Bell, Venusaur, is the fact that it's like a little more flexible, and you're more likely to be able to salvage bad matchups.
I mean, your answers line up with mine really nicely. It's the same reason why I've always landed on of a Razor Leaf user for grass or Meganium in freestyle. It's less oppressive when it's great, but it's certainly way less bad when it's bad, right?
Right.
You don't have those matchups where you're just like, well, there's nothing I can do here.
So a big reason why I chose Victory. Yeah, I was just going to say a reason why I chose Victory Bell is because I like how it can switch into a Vigoroth with an energy lead, and it's able to still win that a little cleaner than Venusaur can.
Oh, tough loss there, Tristan.
Yeah.
And didn't you say
my Beedrill didn't help that much, and Aerial Ace definitely hurt here.
Why are you running Aerial Ace Sludge Bomb?
I'm running Aerial Ace because I was trying it out from a while ago, and didn't really want to waste the TM yet. Especially because I'm not totally sure I'll even be running Beedrill. Aerial Ace gives you a better mirror matchup and does a bit better against Fortress and some of the other bugs. But it does sacrifice some in those electric matchups, especially that Magneton Magnazone matchup, where both your moves are double resisted. Whereas, like, if you're facing Lantern, you still have Sludge Bomb.
And is there a reason that you're running Noctowl, even though you said you wanted to try a team without one?
Mostly as a filler right now. Right now, I'm kind of thinking I'll be running 2 out of the 3 of Noctowl, Fortress, and Wigglytuff. But like I said before, I'm waiting to find a higher attack Wigglytuff before I power one up.
So what's your strategy in game 2, knowing you're basically fighting a mirror?
That's a good question.
Are you on the verses? Because I am.
Yeah, I'm just picking my team.
Oh, gotcha. Cool.
I think it's interesting, Justin, that we're both not running Wigglytuff right now.
Yeah, I'm in the same position as you. I still might not run it in the end, but I'm kind of deciding, or I'm stuck right now with one that's right at, like, right below 120. And so I don't know. We'll see if I end up going with that one or just holding off.
How
Or
much
maybe
below one?
it's like 119.8. So it's like
Oh,
right
that's
there.
that's the break point then.
Yeah, it's like right there, but I'm kind of worried about like slightly like defense, like Vigs with like just a little bit more defense. It's close. I'd prefer like a slightly better one.
There's probably some interest for folks on which breakpoint you're trying to hit exactly on Wigglytuff.
There's a 119.8 attack breakpoint against a rank 1 Vigoroth.
Does that flip that matchup, or does it just make it a lot more comfortable?
It flips it in the 1 shield.
Yeah, I think it's also worth pointing out too, though, that Vigoroth can actually win that one if it self piggybacks, which is kind of interesting.
You're talking self-piggyback double body slam, right?
Yes, yeah.
That just essentially eliminates a charm, right? If you are piggybacking on your own charge move, you prevent them from getting a charm in there. Because normally they would get a charm while you're getting your body slam off, right?
Right. And I think that's how I would define piggybacking.
Oh man,
You
is
got green
denying
barely missed that one. That's GG now.
is denying your opponent an opportunity for them to get that truncated fast move.
Right.
And so whether that's you getting 2 moves off sequentially, both of your choosing, or whether it's off of their charge move, it's the same, serves the same purpose.
Man, that Magnezone hits hard, shields down.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing your 3rd match right now? Or
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
So just before you guys start, I want to mention that for those of you coming in to join us on stream, we have a giveaway currently going on for a $25 iTunes or Google gift card. All you have to do is type the command !enter in Twitch chat. Unfortunately, for some reason, the command doesn't go through on YouTube, so you need to be logged into Twitch for this.
You see what I mean there, though, Tristan, about that Venusaur Vigoroth matchup?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm going Victory Bell. I just think it's
Definitely.
Especially,
I had a charge there. I think if I had waited,
done
I
like a
could have
wait.
got. Yeah, if I had
Yeah.
done a wait, I think I would have gotten to that last frenzy plant.
A couple questions from chat. There, you're both running a fort. There was someone asking whether or not there's any merit to heavy slam rock tomb for this cup.
Yeah, I mean, there's some. It's helpful against like bugs. But I don't know. I prefer Earthquake for that better option against the electrics.
Well, it one-shots everything outside of Lantern. And that's huge. And even still takes out, I think, most of Lantern's health. So,
Dang, like you got me with that double piggyback there, Justin.
Yeah, I got to it.
I was trying to farm a little. I didn't realize you'd get there that quick. Oh man.
oh, you got greedy a bit there, Tristan. Or you had it, just didn't fire off.
Yeah, it didn't fire off is what it was.
So what do you like about your team, and what would you want to change if you can hypothetically pick a 7th?
Um, I mean, if I could pick 8, well, I'd probably swap out BGold for Venomoth. But then if I could pick 8, oh man, I got greedy there. I would add Lantern and Wigglytuff to the mix. Well, this is over.
Don't even play it out.
I mean, it's lagging, but
And if you had to go without one meta Pokemon, be it Vigoroth, Noctowl, Fortress, or Wigglytuff, which one would you drop from your team?
honestly, I'm between